My sister, Rachel, has been sickly. In particular, she suffered from kidney disease. 10 years ago, I was told that a kidney transplant was the only way to save my sister. The results of the tests, with the news that my kidney was a match, I donated a kidney to her. But instead of thanking me, "You're so condescending," she began to rebel. And I was kicked out of her wedding. However, I was told to come back after all. It was my chance to get revenge on my sister. My name is Sari. I am 30 years old and single. I'm not in any relationship now. I work in public relations for a cosmetics company, which I have always wanted to be a part of. I have been interested in makeup since I was a little girl. When I was a student, I used to spend about half of the money I earned from my part-time job to buy cosmetics. Even now, my lifestyle has not changed much. I always check out the new cosmetics information. I find it very rewarding and fulfilling to be surrounded by the things I love. I have a sister, Rachel, who is 2 years younger than me. She has been sickly since she was little, especially with her kidneys. She needed dialysis at an early on. On the other hand, I have never been sick since I was a child. I was a healthy child. Rachel's kidneys were getting worse and worse. Eventually, a kidney transplant was the only way to save her life. That was just 10 years ago. Rachel was only 18 years old, and it was a really shocking thing for her in that age. We decided on a living donor kidney transplant to help Rachel. I was tested for compatibility and found out that my kidney would not reject, and the transplanted kidney would function well after the surgery. I decided to donate a kidney for Rachel. The surgery was a success. My kidney that was transplanted into Rachel, working very well. Then her health gradually improved. She entered university a year late and enjoyed her student life to the fullest. At that time, thanks to you, I am able to go to college in good health. With that, she often said thank you to me. But gradually, she stopped saying such things, and her true character began to show through. Since her childhood that she was sickly and weak, she had been spoiled by my parents. She was selfish, and they bought her whatever she wanted. She thinks that she has priority over everyone else. And she is often cold to me, who is her older sister. She got a job after graduating from college. But she soon quit her job. And she stayed home and helped some household. Of course, she only called herself a homemaker, but she was not helping our mother at all. One day my sister got married. The man she is marrying is one of my college. We are all very close to each other, and we have dinner parties every once in a while. This summer, we decided to have a barbecue together, and I was told that I could bring my boyfriend, girlfriend, family members, etc. So it was a cozy and relaxed barbecue. I also invited Rachel because she is always home. If possible, I also wondered if I could ask her why she is always so cold to me. Rachel, who is a sociable person, immediately opened up to everyone. She seemed to be talking about something. After a while, she came back to me. Then she whispered to me, "Hey, sis. What is the name of that guy over there? What department is he from?" She asked me. The other person was Brian, with whom I was in frequent contact among my close colleagues. "Brian. He's in the sales department. What's wrong with you for asking me such a thing?" As soon as I answered her question, she quickly went toward Brian. I thought, why don't you answer my question? But I let her go, as I always do. On the way home, I heard that Brian is not in a relationship now. I mean, you guys are good friends, so you know that, right? I got Brian's contact. Rachel reported happily. I don't mind you contacting him, but don't do it while he is at work. Of course. After that, we went home without talking. 6 months later, Rachel and Brianne got married. I wondered if Brian knew Rachel's true nature. I felt a little uneasy. I thought she was pretending to be cute and nice in front of him all the time. Rachel has a habit of wasting money. She doesn't mind shopping for more money than she has. I sent a message to Brian. Congratulations on your marriage to Rachel. I was surprised that Brian, who is one of the most popular among peers, choosing Rachel, huh? What do you like about Rachel? He immediately replied. Thanks, he replied. I'm not particularly popular. Rachel is cute and can do all the housework. She is very family-oriented. She also said she is always grateful to you. She said you gave her a kidney a long time ago. Family-oriented. These were the words that were most unlike Rachel. At home, she behaved unmannerly. She was cold and unappreciative even to me. I guess he was worried that I didn't respond to his messages, even though he saw a read on his message. What's wrong? Did I say something strange? No, nothing. I wish you happiness. Yeah, thanks. Oh my gosh, I said, I wish you happiness, but is happiness really waiting for those two? The exchange with Brian made me even more worried. Rachel and Brianne will start living together after their wedding, so she is still living at her parents' house. The wedding party date has been set. She looks happy every day. It's okay that she is enjoying herself, but Rachel tries to one-up me because she got married before me. Sis, you are already 30 years old, aren't you? You don't even have a boyfriend. Don't you think that's awful? You know, how do I say you are not kinda cute? Since you're working at a cosmetics company, why don't you learn more about being cute? But seriously, at 30 years old, there's no need for cute, huh? I was told a lot of things. She doesn't even have a job, and spends her family's money. Why should I be told such a thing? And I put more money into the house, and somehow making ends meet. Don't you realize that? I have plenty of complaints about her, but I couldn't be bothered to react to every single one of them. I decided not to respond to anything. I've decided to write down my dissatisfaction with Rachel in a notebook where I've been jotting down your thoughts. Finally, the day of the wedding arrived. I had asked the hairstylist to arrange my hair. I left home separately from my parents. The hair arrangement went faster than I expected, so I arrived at the wedding venue before meeting my parents. When I went to the bride's waiting room, I saw Rachel in her dress. Oh, you're here. Rachel, your dress looks great on you. Despite my compliments, Rachel did not mention it, but started to talk. Actually, you don't have to attend the wedding ceremony today. Can you go home now? What? What did you say? What do you mean? I was panicking. Rachel responded to me like that. You gave me a kidney. You've been dragging it around forever and ever. How long are you going to keep on acting like you saved my life? How long do you expect me to be grateful to you? She seemed very excited and spoke so loudly that could hear her outside. I wasn't going to tell Brian, but when I had to explain to him about it, he just kept praising you. It really annoys me. I was the one who had the hardest time back then. And yet, everyone said I should be thankful to my sister. Even Brian's parents. They keep saying that. I've had enough of this. She said like shouting. But I won this marriage. I got Brian, who is a salesman for a big company, and has a bright future ahead of him. From now on, I will live freely. If I'm away from that family, and from you, no one will know that I got a kidney. No one will look down on me. I will finally be free. That's why I don't need my sister at my wedding today." Saying that, Rachel came closer to me, and she forcibly snatched my bag from me. She ripped the invitation card that was inside to pieces. She opened the door and pushed me out. When he was done taking me out, she called out loudly to the security guard, "Excuse me, someone has entered here, without an invitation. Please take her outside." Then, the security guards heard her voice and appeared. I was escorted out. I could no longer go inside. Still, I can't believe Rachel had thought that. More than when she tried to one-up me. I felt like I could hear Rachel's true feelings. I don't know what I should have said to her at that time. I had no idea that she had been dragging it out like that. If only she had talked to me, I could have had a proper conversation with her. I don't have an invitation. I can't get in even if I'm here. I gave up and started walking home. Meanwhile, at the ceremony, things were very serious. The exchange between Russell and me, I guess they could hear us outside of the room. A friend of Brian's was listening to the whole thing. I, her sister, was chased out of the room by a guard. He also saw the whole thing. Moreover, he told it to Brian. I heard that Brian said he didn't believe that, but he brought in the security guard who kicked me out. And he asked the guard to tell Brian everything that happened with me. Before asking Russell what happened here, Brian contacted me. "Sorry, I heard that Rachel kicked you out of the wedding hall. Is it true?" "Yes, I didn't know that Rachel had such thoughts about kidney transplantation. She never expressed it to me. She used to say that marrying Brian would make her surpass me, so I thought that was enough." "That's not true, right? The fact that you gave her a kidney doesn't fade away. It's something she should be grateful for all the time, isn't it?" "I think Rachel is wrong." "You'll still marry Rachel, won't you?" "Yes, but..." Brian trailed off a little. He said, "But I want my whole family to give us blessing. Including you, sorry. Come back to our wedding party. I'll tell the receptionist about the invitations." "But Rachel doesn't feel that way. I still can't." With that, I hung up the phone. I have no intention of going back to that ceremony place. An hour before the wedding ceremony started, I received a call from my father Tomas. "Why aren't you at the wedding?" He sounded a little angry. "Rachel told me to go home. She said she didn't want me to keep acting like I saved her life. She doesn't want to be grateful to me any longer." I answer honestly. Then I hear my mother's voice. He must be on speaker. "But we are still waiting for you. You are Rachel's sister, so you should attend the ceremony properly." My mother seemed unusually angry. "I still don't intend to go." And it was time for the wedding ceremony to begin. Rachel looked pleased that I was not there. She seemed satisfied. When the reception started and the speeches of friends began, I heard that many of them mentioned my name. Rachel was saved by her sister. Rachel was helped by her sister, and she is still alive today. Rachel and I met and became friends. Being invited to this wedding is also thanks to my older sister. When I trace it back to the beginning, you was able to marry Brian. You have a wonderful sister. You are a very lucky person. Please continue to take good care of your family. I hope you will continue to cherish your family and lead a happy life. Rachel was sickly when she was little. It is like a dream. Don't forget to express your gratitude to your kind sister. I hope you will continue to enjoy your life. All these speeches, everyone in attendance wondered why I was not at the family table. On the contrary, Rachel, who was listening to the speeches, was irritated. And then, the reception proceeded. It was time for changing her dress. Rachel must have thought, if it turns out that I'm not here at this point, everyone will be suspicious of. She contacted me. She said, "Sis, please come back here after all. Everyone is talking about you. I'm in trouble if you are not here." But it was Rachel who told me to go home earlier. Do you want me to go now? If you are not here, it will look like it's my fault. Actually, it is. So, but it's my wedding today. Don't do anything that will make my position worse, please. Then, can you give me some time to talk to everyone in the hall? If you can do that, I'll come back. Okay, I'll see what I can do. You have to keep your word. I was actually going to go home at one point, but I didn't feel like going home for some reason. I was having tea at a cafe, near the station closest to the ceremony site. I took a taxi and headed right to the ceremony venue. After she came back to the hall wearing the new dress, and when the bride and groom finally re-entered the room, I also arrived there. The two of them went in. I quietly took my seat in the family section. My parents said, "What were you doing?" They were silently pressuring me. I let that part pass and watched the two of them. When they took their seats, they took time for my speech. Finally, I, Rachel's sister, arrived. There was a buzz of excitement. Thank you very much for coming to my sister's wedding and reception today. I also want to thank you for all the speeches you have made about me. Thank you. I bow. Now, I would like to explain why I am late in coming here. It's because that she told me she did not want me to attend her wedding. The room began to buzz even more. I had no intention of doing so, but Rachel seemed to have been hurt for a long time. So I hope that you will try your best not to talk to Rachel about how grateful she is to me, or how she is able to make a living thanks to me. For some reason, the attendees are applauding. But what I want to talk about is what's coming next. I would appreciate it if you could take care of Rachel's health as I mentioned earlier. But there are a few things I would like you all to know a little more about Rachel. That is, who Rachel really is. I wanted to take revenge for the fact that they were kicked out of the venue earlier and that she tried to one-up me. Rachel now calls herself a domestic helper, but in reality, her mother does all the housework. She does not help her mother at all. She also has a habit of spending money. She is a very selfish person who wants to get whatever she wants, no matter what. We, as a family, have been trying to make up for Rachel's spending by cutting down on our own living expenses. Rachel told me not to play the role of a lifesaver. I would like to say to her, don't appeal to your sickly weakness forever. It's not too late, Brian. I think you should take another look at your marriage. I think you should reconsider. So I finally looked at Rachel's face. Rachel's face was bright red. Beside her, the look on his face said he couldn't believe it. It was a bit funny. The ceremony room was buzzing with excitement, is causing an unprecedented amount of applause. I finished my speech and left the ceremony hall. And left the ceremony. I felt very refreshed. The story after that is, I knew Brian didn't know who Rachel really was. Rachel was trying hard to make things right with Brian. Rachel was trying her best to talk to him. However, among the colleagues in the company, I have been working with him for many years. Rachel's story that they had only been dating for 6 months. Everyone trust what I said, not Rachel's story. As a result, the marriage broke up. It was Rachel herself who caused the breakup. She was to pay for the entire wedding. Of course, Rachel objected to this. But our parents. I was furious that she had tried to trick Brian and his family into marrying her. Rachel was to pay for the ceremony alone. Rachel was also kicked out of her parents' house. Because they thought she would get spoiled again if she stayed with them. For the past few years, Rachel, who didn't do anything, is being left behind by society. She thought that finding a job would be easy, but there was no such thing. In the end, she managed to find a temporary job during the daytime, and part-time job at a convenience store at night. It seems that she is having a harsh life. On the other hand, Rachel's ex-fiancé is grateful to me. He says, if I had stayed married to Rachel, I would have been in a lot of trouble. And as for me, I have decided to continue to prioritize work a little more. Recently, I have been given a lot of big assignments. I want to live up to those expectations. In fact, I think it would be nice to have someone, but I feel that I can wait a little longer for a boyfriend or marriage. I feel like that because of what I've observed regarding Rachel's situation this time.